Hey guys, coming back for Lucifer, Season 1, Episode 3, The Would-Be Prince of Darkness, and, I was looking forward to this episode. I've been enjoying the show. I know there are many people that haven't been enjoying the show, and I have to say that this was the first episode that was kind of a dud for me. Now, there were some things I really did enjoy about this episode, but I don't know, I found this episode to be quite messy, actually. I really didn't feel like we had that great of a focus on the episode. Now, yes, it was focusing on one case, but I found it to be actually kind of a not that interesting case. I found the case to be actually pretty uninteresting, and I really wasn't that into it, I have to say. But there definitely were some really good things about this episode. But like I said, definitely the weakest episode for me. Especially the ending. I will definitely talk about some problems I'm having with the show because there are just some things that aren't really working for me. And I don't really think I've noticed them till now because I feel like the first two episodes were just so enjoyable. It was really hard to find flaws. And while this episode was enjoyable, it was actually probably the darkest of the three because the case we were dealing with was actually really dark here. And they could have made it interesting. It's just, it really wasn't. But let's get into it. We start with this woman. She stands on the edge of a rooftop staring at the drop behind her. Lucifer comes up behind her, tells her to jump, promises that there's warm welcome waiting for her. She jumps in the pool below. The partygoers cheer. Lucifer goes down, sees a woman inviting a young quarterback named Huntley to have a drink with her. And, once the woman Ellie Thornton leaves, Lucifer introduces himself. Ty says he doesn't need anything from him. Lucifer says that he desperately needs his help with his virginity and is intrigued by the celebrity virgin. Ty explains that his agent wanted to throw the party and loosen up, and Lucifer asks what he really wanted to do if Ty let go. Ty's idea of letting go is watching MasterChef, which I thought was actually pretty funny. But finally admits that he wants to get laid. He broke up with his girlfriend, and Lucifer tells him that Ty really wants him. Ty refuses, saying that his mother taught him better, and Lucifer says it's about him. And after a moment, Ty goes over. Just as the young woman comes over, she says that she's meet the real owner of Lux, and he performed at a rap battle in the Valley a week ago. A young woman complains about Lucifer's accent and walks off, which I actually thought was pretty funny. And disgusted, Lucifer is briefly thrown off until he spots three women staring at him and goes over, which is a very typical thing for Lucifer to do. And the next morning, Ty wakes up Lucifer as he sleeps among the three women. He says that something really bad happened and asks for a favor, which basically jumpstarts the case for this episode. So at home, Chloe's checking the internet about magic, which I thought made a lot of sense, obviously, because the fact that, she needs to know what's going on with Lucifer, is there such thing as magic, things like that. And Trixie comes in and asks if Dan forgot to pick her up. She assures her daughter that he's probably stuck in traffic, and Trixie suggests that Chloe ask Lucifer how she does her tricks. And I like this scene here with Lucifer and Trixie. With Trixie and Chloe. I really like this. Lucifer calls her unlisted number, asks her to come by. When Chloe arrives at Ty's house, Lucifer takes her to the pool and shows her Allie's corpse floating in the pool. And Chloe calls in a CSI team, and the coroner confirms that the victim was strangled after a struggle. She interviews Ty, who says that woke up early and had a hangover, and he came down to the kitchen and saw Allie's corpse in the water. Chloe says that she was murdered and wonders why he didn't call the police, and Ty explains he told Lucifer, and Lucifer says he would call the police. Chloe insists that she's going to find the killer because it's her job, not because Lucifer wants her to. And Ty gives her a guest list with 250 names. Chloe was, I thought, kind of out of character with Lucifer here. I mean, she was honestly being really hard on Lucifer, and I don't really know why. I mean, she's been kind of chill with Lucifer, and I understand that, like, this was a temporary position, but she's been very cool with him. I don't know if it's because she's starting to get suspicious, but I don't know. I found their dynamic to be a way different than it's been the past two episodes. It's one of the things that really didn't work for me here, is that I'd rather see Chloe accept Lucifer rather than just, rather than just simply, you know, treat him like shit. I'm not a fan of this. And also, I think Chloe, honestly, is getting really dumb, really. I'll talk about why towards the end of the episode, but Lucifer starts poking around the crime scene until Chloe tells him to stop interfering, and clearly she doesn't want any help from him here, which I don't really understand, because they agreed last week to continue doing this. Ty brings up photos from the party. They spot Allie. Lucifer keeps commenting. Chloe finally shows him outside with the other party guests. Dan arrives, tries to apologize. Chloe tells him to apologize to Trixie. Once again, I can't stand this character. Dan just comes on. I don't give a shit. Luckily, he's only in one scene here. They go through the unclaimed items from the party. Chloe finds Allie's purse and her car keys. The detective identifies from the car registration that shows Allie's was from Boy's ID, and a CIS text shows them a missing fingernail that matches the one on Allie's hand. sound, and it's in Ty's bedroom, and Chloe hears a woman groaning from nearby. She goes out into the hall and finds Lucifer playing porn on Allie's phone, which, again, very typical thing for him to do. And fun moments like that, I think, is one of the things that made me wanting to stay into this episode. It shows her with Ty. Lucifer says that he heard it ring and followed the noise. Chloe continues watching the video, and Ty realizes that he's been taped, and he wasn't setting this up. Somebody taped him, and that honestly is very interesting. She goes over to put Ty under his arrest. Ty blames Lucifer for getting him into trouble, and I don't know why she thinks Ty is the one to blame. It doesn't really make any sense to me because of the fact that Ty literally just said he was the one, he wasn't being taped. You know, he didn't realize that he was being taped, and it's clear that he's not the one at fault here. So already I'm like, okay, you kind of lost me. So as the police take Ty away, Lucifer tells Chloe that she's arrested the wrong man. Yeah, no shit, you arrested the wrong man. I mean, he literally said that, you know, you could tell that he did not know that he was being filmed. I mean, it's clear. She figures that Ty learned that Allie was taping and killed her so that she wouldn't release the video and ruin his image, and I understand Chloe's point here, but I don't know. That sounds pretty stupid, honestly, that he would do that. And Lucifer wanted to make sure that Chloe punishes the right person, tells her, look at something else in the phone. Chloe abruptly says that LAPD will look into it and Lucifer can go. And again, she wants him gone. I don't know why she doesn't want him involved here. It didn't really make sense to me. You know, it really seemed like they were using his, powers for good and that they were using it for these cases, and all of a sudden it's not working. So once he goes, Chloe checks the phone, stares at what's on it in surprise, and later at Lux, May's on the phone when Lucifer comes in. She says that LAPD's financial investigation unit was calling. They claim Lucifer destroyed the honeymoon suite at a hotel in Tarzana. Someone with Lucifer's name and credit card left a 2000 tab, and Lucifer insists that someone's posing as him and tells Maze to find them. And that whole part I thought was very interesting, us finding out that someone is pretending to be Lucifer. I definitely was interested in that, and basically she refuses, saying that she's fascinated to see what the human does next, and I don't know how to feel about Maze, I gotta say. I can't really get into her character, because there's a part of me that's like, she is Lucifer's, confidant, and she is the person that Lucifer always trusts, and always sticks by, but at the same time, she's as bad as Amenadiel. She wants him to go back to hell, she wants him to do all these terrible things, and I just don't really know how to feel about Maze yet. And it's episode 3. I really should know how to feel about this character, and I don't. And I'm glad Amenadiel wasn't here, because I'm tired of him just constantly being like, you gotta go back to hell. Like, it's getting very redundant, and I'm glad he wasn't here. So Lucifer meets with Linda, complains that someone is posing at him. The therapist suggests that he's overreacting, says that someone stole her identity a few years ago, and it was really no big deal at all. And Lucifer insists that it is, and Linda changed the subject to the case. She says that Chloe has the wrong suspect, and Linda wonders if it bothers him that someone got Ty into a bad situation. Lucifer admits that it bothers him because he punishes the guilty, and Ty isn't guilty. Which, yeah, obviously is what's going on. My problem with this is that I don't need this explained. I mean, I don't like shows where they spell everything out, and this episode was doing exactly that. I can tell why Lucifer is upset. I can tell that Lucifer knows that Ty is not the one that did this. You don't need to keep reiterating it over and over again. I mean, I understand these scenes between Linda and Lucifer are supposed to be very strong, but in this episode, honestly, I didn't think these scenes were that strong. I really love the scenes between Linda and Lucifer, and I didn't love them here. I thought they were honestly kind of hollow, and kind of just like them explaining things to me that I don't need explained, and I don't really like that. So Chloe goes to an office to meet with Ty's agent, Joe Hansen. Lucifer's already there talking to a group of agents. He asks which one of them is into killing women, and I like that he was basically trying to help Chloe on this case when clearly she didn't want his help, which I don't understand. I don't know why Chloe didn't want his help here. Chloe comes up, demands that a word, and Lucifer explains, hang on one second, guys. He explains that he is there, basically, to find and punish the real killer, and he's got the agency's name from Allie's phone because she traded calls with Ty's agency, and basically Chloe's there to find out how Joe's agent, knew Allie, and she tells Lucifer to go, insisting that he can't help, and Lucifer points out that he's been helpful before, and again, I just don't understand why Lucifer can't help here. I mean, yes, I get that he punishes people and things like that, but that was the thing that was helping them out here. And I don't know if it's because Chloe is starting to suspect things, but it just felt very broken. It felt like this came out of nowhere. It didn't feel like there was a reason for this to happen. Had Chloe had a bit more information about what's going on, I mean, she knows that Lucifer is dangerous. There's that. But it just doesn't feel like it feels like it's too early for this situation to happen. That's why this really didn't work for me. We're on episode 3 and already Chloe is not trusting Lucifer. It's very rushed. And Lucifer points out that he's been helpful before. Chloe reluctantly agrees. They go to Joe's office, and I like that Chloe did agree to Lucifer wanting to help because, I like the dynamic overall, but it just didn't work for me, I have to say. I mean, this case lost me once we realized that Ty wasn't the one that did it, so I just wasn't into it. Joe says that Ty wouldn't have killed Allie, and Chloe asks if he knew Allie. When he threatens to lawyer up, Lucifer uses his power to make him say what he really wants, and Joe admits that he wants to be the greatest agent of all time by protecting his clients, and once he snaps out of Lucifer's spell, Joe tries to cut a deal. Chloe says that Allie was an actress looking for a break, and Joe set her up with Ty. Joe admits that he set Allie up with Ty to get him help him get over his ex, which, okay, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. The agent shows him a threatening letter from Deborah McCall, who is Ty's fan. Deborah got possessive and started managing Ty. When Joe told Ty to break up with her, he refused. The agent made Ty file a restraining order after Deborah broke a girl's nose for buying Ty a drink. Joe suggests that Deborah might have killed Allie, and I am beyond confused, guys. I mean, this was such a complex story that I found it so confusing. I'm like, what's going on? Who's Deborah? I mean, they gave us like 500 little things in just that one thing, in just that one scene, and I'm just like, that's way too much. I mean, this could have been a really simple case, and they made it a lot more complicated, and I like it when they complicate cases, but not like this. You gotta find a way to keep me invested, and this just really took me even more out of it. I wasn't into it. So later, Chloe and Lucifer wait outside the college where Deborah's attending class. Lucifer insists that he wants to punish the real killer, and Chloe suggests that he might feel guilty. Again, why are you explaining all this to me? I don't need characters saying how they feel. It's like a George Lucas movie. It's really annoying, and I don't like it. So Deborah comes out and Chloe goes over to ask her some questions. The girl refuses to talk and goes to her SUV and it explodes. The blast knocks her down. Lucifer insists that they're getting warmer, and as night falls, the police secure the crime scene. There's a remote detonator on the bottom of the SUV, meaning the bomber was nearby. And as the police check the CCTVs, Chloe finds Lucifer talking to Deborah and suggesting that she set the whole thing up. The detective says the bomber wanted to scare Deborah, not kill her, and Deborah missed that she went to Ty's party despite the restraining order and looked in through the window. She says their breakup is just a phase, and it's clear that she's pretty crazy. When she saw Ty and Allie kissing, she got mad, went to an all-night froyo store, and Chloe gets the CCTV, watches it at home with Dan. The video shows that Deborah was there during the coroner's estimated time of death. Dan suggests that Ronnie Hillman, a big Hollywood fixer, rigged the car, and a security cam shows her near Deborah's SUV right before the explosion. Dan explains they've never been able to file charges against Ronnie because she always let her lawyers her up, and he warns that she won't talk to cops, and Chloe suggests someone they never expect to work with them. And basically, Dan and Chloe go to Lux. Lucifer calls Ronnie to arrange a meeting, and Chloe wants Lucifer to vouch for Dan. Then Dan will hire her to fix the problem. And when Ronnie goes there, his people will arrest her, and they'll have leverage to force her to give them information on Allie's murder and the bomb attempt on Deborah. Again, I don't care about this case, so this didn't matter to me. So Lucifer goes down to the main floor where Dan is waiting. Ronnie comes in. Lucifer greets her. She checks him for a wire. Once she's satisfied that he's clean, Ronnie says that she can help Lucifer with the imposter, ruining his name and his sexual reputation. And all of a sudden, this is back. I mean, I completely forgot about the imposter because we've been focusing on this case so much, and it just took me out of the episode. And the imposter, like I said, I thought that was very interesting. Lucifer glances over at Dan, then plays along with Ronnie's assumption. He whispers something in her ear, then she leaves. Chloe and Dan catch up to Lucifer at the bar. He says that he hired Ronnie, and later Ronnie brings in the imposter with a bag over his head. Lucifer confronts the would-be Prince of Darkness, and Maze removes the hood, which is why the episode is called The Would-Be Prince of Darkness, by the way, and he looks nothing like Lucifer. I don't even know how he was an imposter. He's calling himself Lucibro, demonstrates his mock British accent. Lucifer points out that Lucibro is cheapening the Lucifer brand. Maze and Lucifer discuss torture methods, and Lucibro says that he just wanted to get chicks and free drinks, and this was stupid. It really was. I mean, they could have made this really interesting. They could have made this as someone doesn't trust Lucifer or knows something about him, but no, this was just some random guy that just wanted drinks, and I get that this show is just supposed to be fun at times, but this really didn't work for me. I mean, they set up this really interesting plot point, and then you do that was really stupid. I thought it was really dumb. Lucifer promised to destroy him until Maze says that it's like Lucifer punishing himself. And after a moment, Lucifer tells Justin to go, orders him to never sully his name again, and Maze, disappointed that they didn't torture Justin, walks off. Again, I don't know how to feel about Maze. I mean, I understand she likes to torture people, but it was just stupid. It really was. They could have made it really interesting, and I really feel they ruined that storyline as well. So Ronnie gets her money. Lucifer apologizes for his friends, and Chloe comes in, arrests Ronnie for kidnapping and assault. When she threatens to connect her to Allie's murder, Ronnie insists that she had nothing to do with it. The fixer says that Deborah is the murderer, and Chloe explains that Deborah has an ironclad alibi. And I'm like, this is going on and on. I mean, this is the second time that they falsely arrest someone. I'm not kidding you guys. It happens 3 times in this episode. It's ridiculous. It really is. I mean, this is supposed to be a very experienced, person that knows what she's doing. Do your fucking job. Like, seriously. How do you not know what's going on here? I mean, this is so stupid. The police are not this dumb. So basically, they realized that Joe set up the whole thing. Ronnie gave Ty a roofie and then took photos of him with Allie. Lucifer wonders why Joe's blackmailing his own client. Chloe realized that Joe was the one who told Ronnie that Deborah killed Allie. Lucifer wonders how they get evidence on Joe, and Chloe figures the agent knew that Deborah went to Ty's party, so she'd be the perfect suspect. And Joe is running a rebranding presentation for Ty, assuring him that they kept him out of jail and will turn him into this big star. Chloe, Lucifer, and the 2 policemen come in. They start to take Ty out. Joe insists that Deborah is the killer. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Is Ty the killer? Joe the killer? Like, I don't understand this. Chloe says that Deborah was a friend the night of the murder, so Ty remains a suspect. Desperate Joe says that he went by the party, saw Deborah, but never made it inside. Chloe confirms that he's admitting he was there last night, then tells Joe they have Ronnie's sworn statement that Joe hired Allie to make the sex tape to blackmail Ty. Ty wonders why Joe was going to blackmail him. Chloe explains that eventually Joe thought he was going to leave him for another agency, and the quarterback admits that he met with another agency once to keep Deborah happy. Joe decided to strike first and get some leverage, and when Allie refused to give Joe the video, Joe struggled with her for her phone and lost control. I am now completely confused with this story. The good thing is, this is lasting 1 episode because I have absolutely no idea what is going on here. Joe walks out of the room. Lucifer casually shoves him through the conference room window into a desk in the next room. He advances on the agent, and Chloe stops him. And after a moment, Lucifer gets control of himself, invites Chloe to take her turn, and I like seeing Lucifer, like, out of control for a second, and Chloe being the one to neutralize him. I think that's very interesting. The problem is, Chloe doesn't really know what's going on with him. I mean, I don't really understand how she can neutralize him if she has no idea what's going on with him. So as the police lead Joe out, Ty tells Chloe and Lucifer that he was never going to leave Joe. He thanks Lucifer for his help, and Lucifer points out that he owes him one. Deborah runs over to Ty, they hug. Chloe tells Lucifer that she solved the case to spite him, and after he almost destroyed evidence and co-opted a sting operation for his own purposes. After a moment, Chloe finally admits Lucifer didn't completely destroy the case, and he can stop blaming himself, and I agree with that. I mean, Lucifer had nothing to do with complicating this case. It's that they false arrested literally 2 people. That's the problem, is that Chloe, I think, jumped to conclusions. She thought, oh, well, this person's telling the truth, so that's what's going on. Oh, this person's telling the truth. She didn't even really think about it, if you really, think about it. She didn't really think about, is this person really saying what they're saying is the truth or not? She didn't really think about that. So Lucifer says that he just wanted to catch the true culprit, but Chloe doesn't believe it, and whatever, I just whatever. So after sex with Linda, Lucifer tells her that he decided not to punish the fake Lucifer. He admits that he was displacing his anger at Lucibro by finding Allie's killer. Linda asks Lucifer why he came to LA, and I thought this was a very good scene. I really like this here. She asks why he came to LA and figures that he wanted to reinvent himself, but he doesn't believe it. Linda points out that he likes working with Chloe. Lucifer says that he enjoys punishing people now that he can do it on his own. But Linda suggests that he's starting to like seeking justice for the good people like Allie, and Lucifer denies it and leaves, and I found that very compelling, actually. Lucifer, you can tell he has some good in him. That's been a big part of it, and I like that, and I think Lucifer doesn't want to admit that he's doing a good thing because he's the devil. He's not supposed to have these emotions, and he doesn't really understand it. My problem is, last week, he seemed like he wanted to help people. He wanted to do these good things. Why is he all of a sudden denying it? I don't really know. I mean, it felt like a step back from last week's episode, because last week it seemed like Lucifer is already understanding, I have good in me, and I'm going to use it to my advantage. But here, it seems like he isn't really realizing that, and it just, again, felt like a step back. So honestly, guys, it felt like these episodes were out of order. I don't think the episodes were out of order because I know that the events from last week obviously went with this episode, but a lot of this episode felt like it should have been it should have been episode 2. It really did feel that way. Although this would have been a horrible second episode, I definitely will say that, because like I said, either way, this case was extremely complicated and it really took me away from the episode. And then the ending of this episode, Chloe, you stupid bitch. Seriously, Chloe is an idiot. Chloe reviews videos from the agency of Lucifer, shoving Joe through the window, wonders how he did it. Oh, I don't know, Chloe. I mean, an episode ago, he told you his name was Lucifer. You know he can get people to confess, their sins and confess to what they're really doing. I mean, I just wonder what he could be doing. He freaked out some guy who said that he's the devil. I don't know how Chloe's not understanding this. I mean, she doesn't seem like an idiot. She seems like she's very capable of knowing what she's doing. And this really came across as, Chloe, you gotta get your brain on. I mean, this episode, I did not think Chloe was smart at all. She false arrested 2 people. She didn't want Lucifer's help when I really think that he was helping her. And he probably could have made the case get done a lot faster had he helped her. 3, now she still doesn't know what's going on with Lucifer, and I think that's really stupid. Next week, you see that he's gonna try to prove to her that he is the devil. She tries to shoot him, it doesn't work. Let me tell you what's not working for me with this show. These cases are not interesting. They're not. Last week's was good. The week before was good. This week's was so complicated. It could have been very simple. It could have been simply that you had the sex tape. It started off really interesting, definitely, with someone being violated with a sex tape. That's a very interesting subject. That's something that happens a lot nowadays. That's interesting. I'm seeing how, that's interesting to see how that plays out. But just so many other people were thrown into it, and I got so confused, and it took me out of the episode. I could not tell what was going on, and that's really why I was not a fan of this, because when you have a case, I want to be compelled to that case. I see a case, the case drives the episode, make it interesting. And I think the show tried to do that. They just did way too much, and it came across as very messy. Let's talk about Maze. I don't know how to feel about her. I really don't. I mean, this Lucifer imposter thing is the stupidest thing I've seen in a while. I mean, it being some guy that just wanted to, have sex with girls, and that's the only reason he did this, is so stupid, and I really would have wanted something more compelling to come out of it. I was thinking it was going to be someone that, a Menadil sent or something like that, but no, it's not. It's just some random guy, which I think is really dumb. I'm not a fan of it, and it honestly was pointless. I don't know what the point of it was. It simply seemed like they had a plot point, and they're just like, oh, we got to end this now because we don't know where to go with this, so they just ended it, and it's stupid. It really is stupid. The whole thing with Chloe, I was really thinking we are going to get this compelling arc with Chloe and her trying to, fix your reputation, but even that's not in this episode. No one acknowledges that Chloe was this, film star and things like that. Nobody acknowledges that really in this episode, which I thought was weird. And her just not understanding Lucifer. Just think about it. It's common sense. I mean, he literally said, my name is Lucifer. He can control people. What do you think? Really? And she still thinks it's a stage name. It's stupid. I'm not a fan of it. He literally told her the first episode he's the devil. She refuses to believe it. I don't know why. She just does. Overall, guys, not a fan of this episode. I still do like this show. I do. I think it's a fun show, and there are definitely some fun moments in this episode. There were definitely some things I really enjoyed. Like, the way they set up the imposter was really great. It was just the outcome. The outcome of that was terrible. The case was really overcomplicated and really confused me, and like I said, really took me out of the episode. After that, I was like, I don't know where this episode is going. I have no idea what's going on. Very hard to concentrate on it. Why is Lucifer denying that he is good in him? It just, again, it doesn't feel like something he'd do. A lot of the characters seem very out of character in this episode, and already in the first season, it's clear I can tell they're trying to find their footing. I mean, I can tell. In the first season, okay, I understand that. The first season, you got to try to find your footing. You got to try to find your tone, things like that. I understand that, but this is not the way to do it. If they're going to have overcomplicated cases like this, I'm not going to be able to watch this show because I'm not going to know what the fuck is going on, and I want to know what's going on. I want to be able to get involved in these cases, but I can't if it's going to be something like this. But overall, guys, I'm glad you guys saw this episode. Like I said, not a fan of it. Definitely the weakest of the two. Such a step down. I mean, it started off really well. I was really enjoying the first two episodes, but this episode was completely different than those two. I really thought this was a dumb episode, and hopefully next week's will be better. I'm hoping. I really don't want to ditch this show because I really like Tom Ellis, and the things that are really good are still really good. But even in this episode, his relationship with Linda, the therapist, I really felt like they were just trying to do a Hannibal ripoff here. I mean, the way that Linda acts and things like that, I'm like, this is straight out of Hannibal with Bedelia and Hannibal. It very much felt like that, and I feel like the show's trying to be like that. It's not really working. If that's where they're going, it's not working. You need to establish a tone because it seems like the show is trying to be like other things. But over, guys, let me know if you guys saw this episode. Like I said, not a fan of it. I do hope next week's will be better, but I will see you guys in my next video, which, guys, my next video is not going to be till Friday because tomorrow I leave to go to Boston. It's just for a day. It's not like when I went to Florida last year. It's just for a day. It's for a convention. I'm singing with my chorale, which is like an advanced choir at a convention on like Friday, and I won't make videos Thursday because I leave on a 6-hour bus ride. I probably will watch stuff, but I won't be able to review anything, so probably you won't see any reviews till I'd say Friday night. That's probably when they're going to happen. But over, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next video, which will be for, I think, Legends of Tomorrow. I'm not sure. I want to say it's going to be for that. We'll have to see, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.